Numbers chapter 33. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt, with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron. And Moses wrote their goings out according to their journeys by the commandment of Yahweh. And these are their journeys according to their goings out. And they departed from Ramesses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the morrow after the Passover. The children of Israel went out with an high hand in the sight of all Egyptians, of all the Egyptians. For the Egyptians buried all their firstborn, which Yahweh had smitten among them. Upon their gods also Yahweh executed judgments. And the children of Israel removed from Ramesses and pitched in Succoth. And they departed from Succoth and pitched in Etham, which is in the edge of the wilderness. And they removed from Etham and turned again unto Pi-hath-hiroth, which is before Baal-zephon. And they pitched before Migdol. And they departed from before Pi-hath-hiroth and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, and went 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham, and pitched in Marah. And then removed from Marah, and came unto Elim. And in Elim were 12 fountains of water, and 70 palm trees, and they pitched there. And they removed from Elim, and it kept by the Red Sea. And they removed from the Red Sea and encamped in the wilderness of Sin. And they took their journey out of the wilderness of Sin and encamped in Dophkah. And they departed from Dophkah and encamped in Alush. And they departed from Dophkah and encamped in Alush. And they removed from Alush and encamped at Rephidim. There was no water for the people to drink. Where there was no water for the people to drink. And they departed from Rephidim and pitched in the wilderness of Sinai. And they removed from the desert of Sinai and pitched at Kiriath Ta'avah. And they departed from Kiriath Ta'avah and encamped in Hazeroth. And they departed from Hazeroth and pitched in Rithmah. And they departed from Rithmah and pitched at Rimmon Perez. And they departed from Rimmon Perez and pitched in Libnah. And they removed from Libnah and pitched at Rissah. And they journeyed from Rissah and pitched in Kehel-Athah. And they went from Kehel-Athah and pitched in Mount Shapher. And they removed from Mount Shapher and encamped in Har-Adah. And they removed from Har-Adah and pitched in Makhi-Aloth. And they removed from Makhi-Aloth and encamped at Tahath. And they departed from Tahath and pitched at Terah. And they removed from Terah and pitched in Mithkah. And they went from Mithkah and pitched in Hashmonah. And they departed from Hashmonah and encamped at Moseroth. And they departed from Moseroth and pitched in Binjaakan. And they were removed from Binjaakan and encamped at Horhagidgad. And they went from Horhagidgad and pitched in Jotbatha. And they removed from Jotbatha and encamped at Ebronah. And they departed from Ebronah and encamped at Ezion Gahir. And they removed from Ezion Gahir and pitched in the wilderness of Zin, which is Kadesh. And they removed from Kadesh and pitched in Mount Hor, in the edge of the land of Edom. And Aaron the priest went up into Mount Hor at the commandment of Yahweh and died there. In the 40th year after the children of Israel were come and out of the land of Egypt, in the first days of the 5th month, in the first day of the 5th month. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died in Mount Hor. And King Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the children of Israel. And they departed from Mount Hor and pitched in Zalmonah. And they departed from Zalmonah and pitched in Punan. And they departed from Punan and pitched in Obath. And they departed from Obath and pitched in Ajeabirim, in the border of Moab. And they departed from Ajeim and pitched in Dibongad. And they removed from Dibongad and encamped at Alamon Diblathaim. And they removed from Almon Diblathaim and pitched in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. And they departed from the mountains of Abarim and pitched in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. And they pitched by Jordan from Beth Je'emoth, even unto Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab. And Yahweh spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye are passed over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pictures, and destroy all their molten images, and quite pluck down all their high places. And ye shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land, and dwell therein. For I have given you the land to possess it, and ye shall divide the land by lot, for an inheritance among your families. And to the more ye shall give, the more inhabitants. To the more ye shall give, the more inheritance, and to the fewer ye shall give, the less inheritance. Every man's inheritance shall be in the place where his lot falleth, according to the tribes of your fathers, ye shall inherit it. But if ye will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass that those which ye let remain of them shall be pricks in your eyes, and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you in the land wherein you dwell. Moreover, it shall come to pass that I shall do unto you as I thought to do unto them. That concludes Numbers chapter 33. I'm sorry if I wasn't facing you quite as reading there. Thank you for viewing. Appreciate you stopping by to hear the reading of the word. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tuck in a wee prayer request. Oh. Pitched and then removed. Pitched and removed. It makes it quite simple sounding when you take and millions of people set up a tent for a while they stay there, and then they pick up their tents and all that they have and remove it and go somewhere else and start over again, pitching the tents and setting up house. And they had quite a elaborate pattern. So many tribes to the south, so many tribes to the west, to the east, to the north, all in order. So keep that in mind when you're remembering the pitched and removed. It was quite a bit of a few days, a day or a few days work to do that. I'm not sure how much it would take. It wasn't real specific in this text. Nevertheless, it may be elsewhere. We'll see as we go. In the meantime, I say like, share, comment, and subscribe. You can tuck in a prayer request if you're a mind to put it in the comments. I'll be glad to pray for you, or yours, or whatever. Pray for the nation. Pray for the whole plane of things, where everybody lives. He needs God's grace and mercy and favor. His healing, His deliverance, His salvation, His righteousness. All these things should be manifest. And wherein I can affect that and believe for that and pray for that, I will. In the meantime, bless you. Be at peace. Ta.